Okay,
just below the join meeting button, and that'll take you there.
good. Thank you.
Well, let me ask another question, if you don't mind. We haven't concluded the meeting yet. Is there still talk about the Meadows Foundation location?
There is, I've checked with them, and at this time, they are still shut, and I'll continue to check and bring up to date as soon as I find out that they are open.
Okay, so it shows still late July, what I show here.
Yeah, that would be my guesstimate, but
Okay,
the last time I called, uh, they didn't even have staff down there. They just had a security guard. So he was the one
wow.
who answered the phone when I called, and he said they're still closed. My suggestion would be that, and this is just a suggestion, so it does not have to be voted on, is that we might consider checking with a Dallas Public Library location, because one of the groups that I meet with right now meets physically at the North uh, Oak Cliff library site, and they have a room that's large enough, I believe, to handle a group our size, and there's no cost. So that would be an option.
Right.
Okey-dokey.
But each library is different, so
And since I'm the only one that lives, well, I'm not the only one, but I live in Fort Worth, and so does Tim live in Fort Worth. But other than that, all of you all live in Dallas, so I guess that would be probably someone in Dallas to do the issue on that.
well, we have the people who live farther north,
I
up
do.
up in like Richardson and McKinney and Plano and those
Right.
areas. So,
Wow.
you know, finding a central location is kind of difficult, because, when you're coming from all over like we are, I'm in East Dallas, and, uh, you know,
And
Richard,
I'm in North Fort Worth.
Richard's up north.
Yep, almost Frisco.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about Frisco. Sorry. I didn't mean to leave them out.
They're uh, they're pretty popular right now.
Yeah, lots of growth up here. I'm
Yeah.
not actually in Frisco, but I am right next to it.
So I'll continue working
Okay.
and looking.
Okay. Well,
Anything else
anything
before I
else from
start the
you, Chief?
video?
Sorry.
Anything else before I start our video of Drew?
Do I have to
Or
close the meeting?
adjourn our meeting.
If nothing else to be said, I'd like to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Lawrence adjourns the meeting at 10:16. I have, okay. That was a short meeting. Okay.
Good meeting.
All right. Yes, and I apologize. The video is going to be short as well, but it gives us time to talk about extra stuff at the end. So Drew, I don't know if he's still a member or not, but he has been a member of this group way longer than I have. So it's great that he's been able to help us out a little bit here today. And he's going to talk about Band in the Box. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up. We're recording, so it looks good. All right, here we go.
Good morning and welcome to ACD. While there are many programs out there to create and play music, today we're going to talk about a program that I've been using for the past 25 years. It's PG Music's Band in a Box. Unlike programs like GarageBand or Finale, Band in a Box is a quick and simple way to enter songs into your Mac or PC. So whether you're a singer, singer-songwriter, solo instrumentationalist, duo, record producer, or just need backing tracks for your next album, Band in a Box may be just the ticket for you. But what is Band in a Box?
With Band in a Box for Windows and Mac, you can make your own custom backing tracks for any song in minutes by simply typing in the chords, choosing a style, setting the tempo, and pressing play. Entering a typical song from scratch takes under 2 minutes, and your song will sound great, just like all the music in this video, because Band in a Box uses the amazing reel tracks, which are real musicians playing real instruments. When you're a musician, it can be challenging getting a band together to practice with or back you up. With Band in a Box, you can type in any chords from any song, pick a style of your choice, and Band in a Box will generate the backing tracks for you. All the music you're listening to in this video uses our very own revolutionary reel tracks, which means the music you hear are real musicians playing real instruments. This is not MIDI or individually sampled notes, yet you can enter any chord progression in any key, and these real musicians will play it. This is a musician's dream and an essential tool for practice, songwriting, and music production. Simply type in any chord progression in any key, and Band in a Box will play it in one of our thousands of styles. We have tons of great jazz styles, including many variations of straight-ahead jazz swing, bossa and other Latin jazz, smooth jazz, and other jazz and world genres like gypsy jazz or Afro-Cuban, or other world styles like Celtic. If pop, rock, and country are more your thing, we have lots of great styles for you as well, like this pop style, or this hard rock style, or this punk style. For country fans, we have bluegrass styles. There are many classic country styles like this old school country piano, or this train beat groove. And we have lots of modern country too, like this style with atmospheric modern pedal steel. We even have styles with background vocal oohs and ahs. There are even hip-hop, dancehall, and EDM styles too. And of course, we've got lots of great funk styles, like this one with cool wah-wah guitar. Or this swingin' funk with organ and tenor sax solo. And again, everything you're hearing, including the soloist, was created just by typing in these chords. Let's see this in action by typing in a simple blues in E. And we'll pick a style, for example, this Texas blues rock style. We'll quickly set the key and tempo and press play. And we can easily switch that to a cool, laid-back swing blues style. And of course, you can change the chords or the key. For example, let's try some jazzier chords and change the key to B flat. Within a few seconds, we now have this. Now let's try these chords with a jazz swing style, and we'll increase the tempo to give it a bit more energy. And now we've got a great jazz blues playing. In addition to our audio reel tracks, we now have video reel tracks. Now you can watch a video with either one or multiple musicians playing along to the chords you entered for even more learning possibilities. Another great feature included in Band in a Box is our audio chord wizard, which analyzes an audio file and then works out the tempo, bar lines, and chord changes so you can easily make your favorite files into Band in a Box songs. At PG Music, we have an amazing customer service department that includes tech support for all questions and troubleshooting related to Band in a Box. We also have a very active online forum packed with tips and tricks from Band in a Box users, which also includes a user showcase forum where users around the world share thousands of songs they made with the program. We even have user showcase awards each year. We have several different Band in a Box packages starting as low as $129. Whether you want to learn one of your favorite songs, practice different musical patterns, or compose your own songs within minutes, Band in a Box is the tool for you. To learn more, visit bandinabox.com or pgmusic.com. Thank you for watching and have fun.
Welcome back. Since I've been using Band in a Box, I've only used it in live on-stage situations. But as you saw in the video, it has many other functions as well. Today, I've chosen a song by Antonio Carlos Jobim called Gingy. I downloaded the chord chart from the internet. Gingy is a bossa nova, and I want it played at about 95 beats a minute. I opened up a new file in Band in a Box. It came up as untitled jazz style, key of C at 140 beats per minute. That's a standard way to open.
Oh,
But that's not what we want. We want the key of E flat. Okay, and we're going to transpose that, yes. We want to change it from a jazz style to a bossa nova style with a, I don't know, guitar. You say, okay. Set the tempo to 95. And we'll leave it at that. And then I'm going to enter the chords from the chord chart that we downloaded from the internet. So E flat major 7. Okay, E flat major 7. And I'm using the keyboard on the computer, not the keyboard on the, any other keyboard. And D flat major 7. E flat major 7. You can see this is very easy to do. B flat minor 7, B flat minor 7, and then E flat 7, and then A flat major 7, D flat 9, E flat major 7, B minor 7. Okay, so 8 measures, that's the entire first verse. We're going to repeat that, and then we'll go into the second verse. But I'll enter the rest of the chords and then come back and show you what it looks like. So now I've entered all the chords from the chord chart into the Band in a Box sheet. And we can see it's all there, and I've told it to play at 100 beats per second 3 times. And I'm using a standard AABA format. So verse, verse, chorus, then a verse, and then the whole thing repeats a couple times. Here's what it sounds like. We'll tell Band in a Box to play it. Right now we're playing with a bass, drums, and guitar only. If you're a singer, that's really all you need. If you play an instrument, you can play the melody line. But here's what it sounds like so far. Now all these guitar parts are being generated automatically by Band in a Box. Same thing with the drums and the bass line. Okay, and it'll go to the last verse and then come back and cycle back around again. Now that I've got the basic footprint in there, I can change it and do other things to it. For example, this version I decided that I really wanted the first verse to be sung with just the guitar playing, and then after the first verse, the second verse, and thereafter, the verses to be sung with the full orchestra and full band. And then I've added a solo part for, in this case, a trombone. When I was playing with a duo, she was a flautist and she played the flute. But now I've got bass, piano, drums, guitar, and a singer, if she sings, or an instrument in playing. Normally, I would play the guitar part. I'm sorry, I would play the piano part, but this is what it sounds like now. So now we have the whole band playing. And I've added this little drum part here at the beginning of each verse to let you know that there's a new verse coming. Very natural sort of feel. And every time Band in a Box plays this, it plays it very subtly different. And now the solo. This is being generated by Band in a Box. And then the singer would come back in or something. So now I've got a verse, chorus, verse, solo, chorus, verse, and then we'll take the song out. And when I'm playing with the singer, when I played with the singer, here's what it sounded like.
Sky so vast as the sky, with faraway clouds just wandering by. Where do they go? Oh, I don't know, don't know. Wind that speaks to the leaves, telling stories that no one believes. Stories of love belong to you and me. Oh, Gingy, if I only had words, I would say all the beautiful things that I see when you're with me. Oh, my Gingy. Oh, Gingy, like the song of the wind in the the trees. That's how my heart is singing, Gingy. Happy Gingy, when you're with me. I love you more each day. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'd let you go away if you take me with you. Oh, don't you know, Gingy, I'd be running and searching for you like a river that can't find the sea. That would be me, oh my Gingy. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'd let you go away if you take me with you. Oh, don't you know, Gingy, I'd be running and searching for you like a river that can't find the sea. That would be me, oh my Gingy. Ooh, Gingy. Ooh, Gingy. Whoa.
Really good.
So now you can see what Band in a Box can do for a small duo, a band learning music. Many thanks to Diane Dawson and all the folks who helped create that video many years ago. If you have any other questions about Band in a Box, feel free to drop me a note at support@machelpdesk.com, and I'll be trying to help you as best I can. Thanks. Have a good afternoon.
Hey, Drew.
He looks a little different now.
Yes, he does. I remember taking my wife to Dallas to for Valentine's Day to watch him play.
Hopefully I didn't mute the thing right at the beginning. I'm afraid I did. Did the sound halt in the middle?
No?
No?
Okay, good. All right,
It sounded great.
good. I noticed on there, one of the things that I would probably find useful is my daughter Rachel and I are trying to learn some Beatles songs on the guitar and the bass. So that might be useful to put some chords down and see if we can figure out how we can play some Beatles songs using that software. Not sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have for the main presentation. So people would like to hear about Mac Studio.
Yay.
Who's got information on that? I didn't watch the event, so I'm not up to speed on that.
Well, it was Taylor. Did you? First thing, my son is upset because he liked the the iMac 27-inch, and that is going away and being replaced by the Studio. And so he was sad about that. I haven't called him to ask him now that he saw the Studio, how did he feel about it? But what did you think about that, Taylor? Since you'll probably be the one that buys the first one.
Well, it certainly looks nice, fast, and zippy. And other than the storage end of things, it's really sounds awesome. I'm certainly excited about it. So, of course, from my perspective, being a FileMaker developer, I'm real interested if the $2,000 one is a good little FileMaker server machine. So I'll probably be experimenting with that at some point here shortly. So
what I liked about, I mean, I was telling Tim if I win the lottery, I would get that brand new Ultra, where they take the two Mac M1 chips and fuse them together and make a dual and make that dual processor that and they said they had done that basically before. They just didn't say anything about it, where they could fuse them together. And so that's going to be amazing. I have a cousin who complains because he's a retired meteorologist, and he still does what do you call those models for the different cities up there near Chicago, but he always complains he never has enough power. So I'm getting ready to call him this week and ask him, okay, now you got enough. All you got to spend is the money.
Yeah, it's always about the money, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like an awesome machine. I'm just scrolling through the website here.
I know we have a member that used to or still does work for Micro Center. His name escapes me currently, but
John Jones.
Jonesy.
Yeah.
Jonesy.
I wonder if he'd be able to demonstrate one of those for us.
I bet
He's
they
still
don't
over
have one.
there.
I bet they don't have one in stock there yet.
Well, it'd be, yeah, I understand that not available yet, but you know,
M1 Ultra.
The $2,000 one is in reach. Matter of fact, if I hadn't have bought my M1 Mini, I would have been really tempted to buy this one, because the base model comes with 32 gigs of RAM, and it does have 512, but you can go ahead and add another 512 if you need that, or you can go up as high as you wanted. But I would, if it was me, I'd probably buy the only thing I'd add to it was the another 512, which will make it, you know, the 1 terabyte. And then that's all I would add. And then on top of that, it comes with a ton of ports. And it also comes with, which I would also use, is since I take movies with my camera, it also has a SD card slot in the front of it, so you can load your movies and pictures. And nobody knows this yet, but I'm sure Apple tested it quite a bit, because there's a lot of power. And they say most of the internals is heat sink and fans to keep that Ultra 2 chip cool.
you know, there's a difference in 2 pounds in the weight because of the differences in the cooling mechanism. The aluminum on the Max, and then I forget what it is they used for, or was it copper? I think it is they used for the Ultra. So they said it weighs, actually the Ultra actually weighs 2 pounds more.
But and they didn't want anybody to think. Now, Tim, what did you think about the monitor?
The display I thought was interesting because it contains an A14 chip, which got me thinking, gosh, I wonder if you could just add an external SSD to it and perhaps, have your iMac again. I mean, because basically you've got RAM and a processor. All you need is something to store your data and put an OS on. So I was wondering if that was going to be a future capability with a firmware update on the studio display.
And it looked like it supports 5 displays. That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, all my clients that currently have the M1 minis, I have mine running dual displays, one with HDMI and then one with Thunderbolt. But have had clients that have tried to power 2 displays, and it does make a difference as far as the age of the display. A friend that has an older NEC, like a 10-year-old NEC, that it will not power up that show an image on that display because of the age, I'm guessing. I've tried every cable configuration that I could come up with and still haven't been able to get a dual display working with him because of the older, I think it's the age of his NEC display. Because
Right. And I'm not running a dual display. I'm running a 38-inch ultra wide monitor. So that's all I have hooked up. In fact, it's probably all I got room for on my desk.
Wow, that is it looks like a extremely thick Mac Mini, but
yeah,
Yeah, they say it's the same width is the same as the Mac Mini. It's just the height is different.
I just think there's a lot of potential back to the display. I think there's some future potential that we obviously are not privy to. I think it was mentioned when I was watching the keynote alongside of the Mac Break Weekly folks. They were talking about AI functionality, what it might bring to the future, like, with their augmented reality also the fact that it hooks up to an iPad. They show
Yes, that's right. They were complaining about that because I'm thinking about getting a 12.9. I guess it'll be an M1. I don't know what they're coming out with this year, but they got an M1, and they were kind of upset because when they hooked it up to the M1 iPad to the monitor, it would not display the whole monitor. It put it in like a box. Because, and they said that it's because of Apple doesn't want you to use that as the M1 iPad as your main computer. They still want you to buy a computer. And so because they can fix that. They can fix that they probably can fix that with a firmware fix, but they don't want you to be able to do that. So you get it, so it doesn't take advantage of the whole monitor, even though they could.
So it's more of almost like a mirroring function, because I know, like, when I put my iPad on my display or even on my TV, obviously it doesn't fill the screen because of the ratio, the display ratio.
Right, and they do that, and they were complaining they do that on purpose. There was a few other things that they did. They were complaining about. I mean, it's not a killer. I mean, I'm still going to get one. It's just that they said Apple could fix it, and they just, because they got enough money and time to fix it.
Does anybody read all that small print that's there? I mean, that's it's pretty remarkable that they stick all that in there. It's sometimes when you go in there and you look at some of that, it's amazing the things that they hide in there. That it's obviously they don't want to bring it to the forefront.
They also, in that meeting, added an M1 to the iPad Air. So, that's interesting. I'm not quite. Now, I got a question, and maybe somebody can answer this one for me. Is the 11-inch iPad an M1, or I thought it was just the 12.9 had an M1, but then when I looked on um, the Apple what's the name website, it looked like they were saying that the iPad Pro 11-inch had an M1 too, and I don't remember them saying that. Does anybody?
Yeah, it's an M1. Both of them have M1s. The difference is the XDR display.
Oh, so you still get an M1? Okay,
Right.
because, and I was like, because I didn't understand that, because at the end of the presentation, they said the last silicone to fill up the silicone, they only had one more, and that was the Mac Pro. And I went, wait a minute, you left out the 11-inch. Okay, so they didn't leave it off. They just quietly did that. Okay.
Yeah, the only difference between the 11-inch iPad Pro and the 12.9 is the XDR display, which is obviously a higher resolution.
Because I got to think about that, because that 12.9 is awful expensive.
Well, I sure do like mine. Mine's not an M1, but like I had told you in a previous text message that I use my iPad, probably my 12.9 iPad, probably more than I do any other Apple device. It's easy to carry, transport, take anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm not buying another notebook. So yeah, that would be my notebook.
Yeah, and with the keyboard, backlit keyboard, it's just like a laptop for that matter. Obviously, there were some other things that they announced during that keynote. Some of the things that I really wasn't particularly that interested in, but then a green, Alpine green iPhone 13, and the new iPhone SE.
Yeah, the iPhone SE was something that caught my attention. I like to have the smaller form factor iPhone.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I know it was good for my mother when she had a previous Model SE that functioned just fine. So I think it's made for obviously for those folks that don't obviously need the power or the screen size. But I know as my eyes get older, I enjoy the Max screen myself.
Yeah, but they bumped that up to an A15 chip, so you'll have the power.
The other thing is I use my camera in my phone extensively now, so that's
Yeah.
the other big thing. I mean, it's I rarely use a DSLR. The iPhone just takes such wonderful images.
Yep. Let's see, what was the other one the green?
The Alpine green.
Green.
Cool.
Which I don't know if it's because of St. Patrick's Day, I'm assuming.
I have no idea why I just think they needed a filler. The other last thing that they announced is that for people who love baseball, the Apple TV now, if you have Apple TV Plus, you can watch out of, not out of season, but out of territory, whatever you call it, games, baseball games. So if you're from Chicago and you want to watch the Cubs or the White Sox, you can get that you say Friday or Saturday. I think it was Friday, right? Taylor, Tim, anybody?
Yeah, I'm not a baseball fan, so I did see that, but I kind of, just kind of glossed over.
But if there's anybody who's a baseball fan, I mean, and I don't, they didn't say it was going to be anything extra, so it may be part of your Apple TV Plus experience.
Yeah, we are so overwhelmed nowadays with content that it's impossible to keep up with all these different series that are on. The Apple TV is a wonderful device, but one of the streaming services is offered on the device. I mean, you got Netflix and Hulu and Crackle, and And I mean, just it's there's just a flood of media. Disney.
Yeah, and everything got something different. So by the time you get through cutting the cord, you've stitched it back, the cord back with twice as much money.
Yeah, I just don't have that time to sit down and watch that much content. It's I obviously don't like to watch regular network TV nowadays because it's all conflict and controversy and blood and guts and bad news. So it's nice to be able to watch something worthwhile. But at least in my opinion, I'm not one of those that goes after watching all the constant battling and fighting and reality TV and things like that people seem to enjoy nowadays. I would, I think that need to come out with something that, like Me TV, say for instance, it goes back to the good old days, the TV that I used to watch as a youngster. My
Yeah,
wife and
I like sticking with Disney Plus and
Yeah.
Star Wars and Marvel superheroes.
Speaking of Disney Plus, that Will Smith series, I don't know if you've caught that or not, but that is awesome. Well, This Is Earth, Welcome to Earth, or something like that. It is just absolutely very informative and very much worth watching. There's some very interesting information that comes out of his video. I don't want to spoil it because it's but if you watch it, I think you'll be very intrigued. You'll want to see. I think there's four or five of them, and
What's it called again?
Pardon me.
What's the name of it?
This Is Earth, I think is what it's called. This Is Earth.
Right.
Will Smith, and I was really taken aback by the content and the quality of the series. It's very much worth watching.
Which streaming is it on?
It's Disney Plus.
Okay. If you add all these up that you want to watch, one show on each one of these different
Right.
series, you end up paying $60, $70, $80.
Yep, you'd be back up to where you were with the cable or more.
Exactly. I have three, and I only watch one show on each of them. So it's pretty. I don't know.
Now, let me ask you a question. How many people back up their iPhones? I bought a product called iAmazing, and I double checked with Tim because Tim is my sounding board. If I get ready to buy something, I'll say, Tim, you heard of this? So anyway, he had it. So, but the neat thing about the iAmazing, it allows you to back up your iPhone, which everybody, and your iPad, which everybody's used to doing, but you can't get to anything. What you can do is you can restore your iPhone and your iPad if something goes wrong, but you can't get it. And the other day I made a big mistake. I booked a vacation, and this young lady told me she had texted me her itinerary. And I said, oh, no, you didn't. I had deleted it. So I went back, and I could go back just like you do with the Apple time machine. You can go back in segments and get it. And I went back, and lo and behold, she had sent me her itinerary, and I screwed up. But you can do that. You can go. You can back it up hourly. You can back it up weekly. You can back it up daily. Whatever you want to do, and it backs up all of your things, photos. The only thing I don't think it backs up is emails. Go ahead.
The very interesting thing that I liked about iAmazing is, I've recently lost a parent. My wife lost both of her parents. It'll do things like go in and make it very easy for you to download those voicemails. And that was, my wife wanted to save all of her voicemails, and that was the most convenient way. It was very simple to recover and download all of her mother's voicemails. That's obviously something you can't do in iTunes that I'm aware of.
So it allows you to back up all of those things, and
And
you can segment again, voicemails, all of those, and bring it over. And it even allows me to back it up, and I take it over to, I have a NAS, a Synology NAS, and actually that's where I store my backup to the NAS, and it's done over the air.
the other nice feature is that, you know, if you're in a situation like I am where you're set on like my mother's estate and you're dealing with text messages, it's nice to be able to download a conversation from your text messages, and that's another obviously nice feature. You can download it as a text file, an entire text message conversation. So you know, it has a whole world of features available to it, and it's well worth the price.
So if anybody has interest, I don't think it was that expensive either, if I can remember correctly. I think it was
like $40 or something like that.
$40 or something like that. Yeah, it wasn't that expensive. Yeah, I've got it. And I will, let me do something right quick. Taylor, Richard, who's got it now? I would like to share my screen. I'll bring it up and let's just take a look at what it looks like.
You can just try the button at the bottom. And see.
Yeah. Okay,
Share
I'll do
screen.
that. Okay. And then I'll take the button at the, well, I should have took the button at the bottom first. Hang on. Hang on. Nope, that's it. Let me go to this first and then get the button at the bottom. Share screen. Share. Why is it saying that? Can you see it now?
No, not yet.
Okay, I think, hold up. Hang on, I swear. Something happened to my computer the other day. Okay, I want that one. There it goes. No, I don't want to quit it. I'll do that later, but I think I can still see it. Can anybody see it now?
No.
No.
Okay, hang on. Hang on, let me go back to this again.
You might have to exit and restart Ring Central, maybe.
Yeah, I know that's exactly what it's telling me to do.
You never gave Ring Central your permissions?
Well, I did it, but something happened to my computer and it just lost everything.
Well, we lost him.
Well, maybe he probably hit the restart. Yeah, after changing the security, so he'll be back just a second.
Oh, there's Shirley.
Hi,
Shirley.
Shirley.
Where are you, Shirley?
You're muted.
I can't hear you, dear. You got to unmute.
Good morning.
There you go.
I did get back into town late last night, so I'm just listening in.
Hail to our leader.
Hey,
Oh, no. I'm just listening in. You all have done really well. Lawrence has done a great job. I thank you all for carrying on.
Welcome back.
Ah, there
Yeah.
you are.
how was things up north?
Snowy and stuff, but that's okay. I really
Look.
like the snow. And I can still drive in snow and ice without any trouble.
There you go.
So all that part was good.
Very good.
So it's all right. So I got, like I said, I got back late last night.
Oh, so you're back. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm back in my own house. That's my
It-
main background.
And guess what? I am so pleased to give it back to you.
Oh, you're doing a good job there, Lauren.
Lawrence, continue. I just said hello while you were doing whatever.
Okay, so let me see if I can do it now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's better now. So
Okay. All right.
here it is right here.
Yeah, we got something.
Oh, there I go. I'm just messing up. Okay, so let me go here. So this is what you see when you bring it up. So there's my iPad, my wife's iPhone, and then there's my wife's iPad. And then if I go to my iPad, I can go in and these are all the things that you can look at. So for instance, if I want to look at the messages, it will allow me to look at any of the messages that were done. Again, voice it, see all the messages that were sent, and I can look at them, and I can go back day after day because so basically, if you got enough room, which I have on the server, I just back it up and back it up and back it up. And so I can probably go back and look at messages, if I've had it that long, 6 months, and look at messages and that type, or voicemails. And you can back up ringtones, you can back up iPod, you can back up and look at your Apple TV, music, photos, you name it. It's got all of that in there to back up. So if anybody is interested, and again, it's not that expensive. It's about $40. I guess it was. I didn't look it up, but that's what it is. And so if anybody's interested, anybody has that problem, again, I know everybody gets things backed up from every night, but again, it's nice to be able to go back and pull things out and get things from that different individual disciplines, like iPhotos and all of those. So that's it. That's all I wanted to
Share.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What was the name of it one more time?
What'd you say?
What's the name?
iAmazing.
Okay.
I have one thing that I would like to ask. I know we had 11 people on here earlier. Now we're down to 10. I have a presentation coming up in May of genealogy. And what I wanted to ask the group, or who we have in attendance here, is if there was anyone that is not currently working on their ancestry or has never done their ancestry, I wanted to use them as in the demo to show how easy it is for them to trace their roots. So if there's anybody that wants to volunteer their name and some specifics, I'd like to use your information in my demo to demonstrate how you would get started with the application and begin the process of finding your lineage, finding your ancestors. If there's anybody that's is not presently doing their ancestry themselves or would be interested in volunteering information.
I'll volunteer, Tim.
Wonderful, wonderful. If you have my email address, if you could just furnish me, or actually we could just do it live if you wanted, but actually what I would like to do is just perhaps get your name and your parents' name, say for instance, and just the real basic information that you already know, just maybe your parents and yourself, and then we can just kind of go from there and trace your parents back by what information you pass on to me.
Okay.
So that would be really cool. Do you have my email address?
Probably.
Okay. I can certainly give that to you. Because that would help me in my demo rather than just boring you with my genealogy. It would be interesting just to show how easy it is for you to get started in the process. And that's what I've been doing it for 10, 12 years. And, I've built quite a database of family and made some discoveries. So,
Tim, I have a question there. I've got lots of information on ancestors, and my problem is I don't know how to display it well so that people can see it. I was using Apple, I think, had a Ancestry, or maybe it was ancestry.com. I'm not sure which one that I was using. And it just seemed one was so cumbersome, and ancestry.com was very cumbersome with information, and I couldn't share it very well. And then I had one, I think Apple put one out, and I tried using that, and that got very cumbersome, and it just didn't contain enough way to display, because I got lots of information, display it in a interesting way. So maybe I don't know if you can address that issue.
Right. That's one of the things that I have. I primarily use Ancestry, but there are other software packages out there that I will touch on and demonstrate that are, Reunion, Mac Family Tree. I mean, there's several different.
Yeah, that's one I use.
Right. Yeah, and I can touch on all of the ones that I'm familiar with, and all the ones that I own. I've been working on my keynote presentation, and I don't know what my time limitations are, but it's a lot of information to pass on, and I hope that that it's a topic that everyone will be interested in, and I think it'll be be fun.
I think our time limitations are just based on how long Taylor can keep us online here.
Yeah. I've been working on it, so I'm ready. And with Richard's information, it'll help the demo, because I can just kind of start from scratch and just show anybody that's never done it how to begin, and how easy it is to continue, and how much fun it is, really. I mean, I don't want to spoil my present. I don't want to give it away now, but I appreciate that, Richard, for you passing on that information to me. Just the basic. Some basic things that you don't mind passing on, and perhaps showing other people. I don't want to, obviously.
Problem.
Okay. Very
expose
good.
any private information.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
And I know that we have a time we have an opening in October. And one of the things that I brought up earlier, I don't know if you were on or not, but one of the things that the other group that I'm a member of in Fort Worth, one of the things we like doing is involving the membership and having them like pick their favorite app and do a little 5-minute demo of, their favorite iOS app or their favorite Mac app. And, that way it brings the group into the play. And
a little show and tell type thing.
Yeah, a little show and tell. And that, it's always been fun, because, see what people do with their devices and how they use their, MacBooks or their, iMacs or their iPads or whatever, and maybe demonstrate something that they really enjoy, or something they found useful, or their favorite utility, or it gives the opportunity for them to participate, and also for everybody to learn something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We used to do that once a year, and I can't remember whether it was in December.
Yeah,
when we had,
it was
the Christmas meeting.
And I also miss. I really miss Richard would come down and bring his hardware down, and it was brought a lot of memories back on the good old days, and I miss that too. So I can't hardly wait to get back to that.
Well, I have my emulation demo, obviously, that I've just run a multitude of different OSs, from BOS to, Mac OS 6 and so forth and so on. I think I've already done that for the Dallas group, but it's always fun to go back and see where we came from.
I've had a couple of new additions to my collection as well. Barbara Moses has decided to move to a different place, and so she didn't have room for a few things. So I helped her rescue some files off of her machines that she's not taking with her. And so in return, I get to keep a Power Mac G4 mirrored door display, or mirrored door system, which I didn't have before. It's actually the last Power Mac that can natively run OS 9, which is important for those of us who deal in legacy apps and OSs and whatnot. So I got that, and all of her stuff is in really great shape. A nice huge cinema display with the big bezel, so it's got a retro look to it. She also had a Power Mac 7100, which is the first generation Power Mac. So that's nice to have one of those.
Well, I may have some things that I want to pass on when I get ready to move. So I wonder, is it possible for me to share my screen real quick?
Yep.
Let me
Yeah.
see if I can do this. If I don't want to bore anybody here, but this is the only piece of software that I found that I can do emulation on an M1.
There
It's
you go.
called UTM. I don't know if anybody's heard of this or not.
No.
Not yet.
But UTM, you notice right here, I have 9.2.1 available here to run. But you can browse this gallery. Oh, it's going to cause me to share a different screen. I don't know if you can't see that gallery, can you?
No.
Not
Okay,
yet.
so let me stop screen sharing and go to the gallery here now. So basically, these are all the different OSs that you can run in UTM. If you're needing to run old Windows or a Linux system, this is the one that I was interested in, is the 9.2.1. So let me stop that and go back over to my other screen. So basically I downloaded the virtual machine and you just launch it up. Now you can't see that screen. Goodness gracious. Stop sharing, go back to the other screen
So
now.
UTM is available for any M1 Mac?
Right, yeah. So here's 921 running on an M1 in UTM.
I remember that old one.
So do you I mean, to me, this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, I'm geeky. This is the kind of stuff that I enjoy, is seeing this old stuff.
Now, is UTM, is there a price to UTM?
No, I think it's a free app. Yeah.
Huh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely important to me.
Yeah, but it is limited, obviously, but it's and then you have to you have to go up here and tell it to capture the mouse. This is I can't remember which one it is to do that. Oh shucks, I think it's right here. Yeah, there we go. I had a friend download this and he goes, well, it works except for I can't use the mouse. And I said, well, you got to press this little button right up there. But then once you press that button, then you're
Okay.
which I think this is just incredible to be able to
Yeah,
see old 9.2.1 running on an M1,
Well, I didn't know you could do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing that too.
So yeah, this is, I mean, it's just how fast this stuff, well, I think it's already gone. Let me see if I can do if I can do the full demo. I guess that's not, is that going to run? Yeah. There we go. Anyway, it's just, this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy figuring out how to do, is run all these old OSs.
So I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
The reason I keep a hardware machine that runs OS 9 is because I can use Apple Talk to get onto my Quadra 950 that's running 7.5 and thence to my Apple IIgs, and I can archive all this old software between all these machines. So can an M1 running this OS 9.2.1 access an Apple Talk network on system 7 or something like that?
Yeah, good question. Let's see.
I assume I would need an adapter.
See, there's the network. So
yeah, right.
Obviously I don't have any devices, but it looks like it actually is searching.
Interesting. I'm gonna play with that.
Got a quick question. How, if you go get this UTM, you download it, and what do? How does it just installs just like anything else, or is there?
You go to the App Store, and I think it's in the App Store. Yes, it is in the App Store. You go to the App Store and download UTM, and then you once you launch it, you can visit the gallery and download those available OSs.
Oh, that's too easy. That's good, because I hate when you gave me one of the things that it took like
me,
it took like 2 days to get it installed and have us
let's
beat
see,
up.
let's
But
go
this
back.
sounds like fun.
Let me go back here. Hold on just a second. Let me go back, share my screen if you don't mind. Where am I? Here we go. Yeah, so here you go in the Mac App Store. So this is, you know,
Okay. Excellent.
yeah,
Wow.
virtualize. You can actually, here's Monterey actually running in UTM. So why you'd want to do that, I don't know. But yeah.
Okay, I've got a new project on my plate.
Yeah, I think it's a fun piece of software. This is the kind of, like I said, this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing. It's not productive at all, but it's fun.
Fun.
You know, when you're as old as I am, I mean, I was funny when I worked for the Apple Store. I was, there were people that were working there that were born after the Mac came out, which is, and it's how I thought, God, that's hard to think about. You were born in, 1990. The Mac was already been out for 6 years and you were just a kid, I mean, you were an infant, and I'm thinking, that's just, when I showed them, when I was working there, when I showed them like an old, 9-inch Mac, it's display Mac, it's like, wow, that thing's an antique.
One of it's useful to me with my grandkids who are 5 and 7 to amaze them with some of the things that these old computers do with games and apps. I mean, there are some very clever user interface things that people did in System 7 and OS 9 that aren't there anymore. I don't know why. I guess you just have to change to make progress over the years, but sometimes I'll sit them down in front of an old computer and they're happy for 30 minutes or an hour.
Well, that's back when computing was, obviously that's back when computing was simple too. I mean, nowadays they have to add so much security. I mean, it's just kind of like the situation that Lawrence went through, having to go into the security preferences and, approve Ring Central to be able to take control of the screen. And you didn't have to do stuff like that. You didn't have the maliciousness of the people out there, and you could have that simplicity. I don't think in the older systems, you didn't even have passwords. You just turn on the computer and it came right up to the desktop, and now it's like, oh my God, I forgot my password. How am I going to, and what do I do now? So yeah, things have become.
Before we did shutdowns, you just unplugged it.
Where's that button? Where's the button? But yeah, I could, if anybody's interested, I could do, and then again, that's an October thing, possibly, if we don't do the show and tell, I can certainly do a little emulation things and, kind of do a review of some of the software that I demonstrated before that will run those older OSs.
Oh, that would still be show and tell.
Yeah, it would still be show and tell. Yeah. But yeah, I come across stuff like, I mean, now I'm working on emulating an old Tandy TRS-80.
Oh, that is old.
Yeah. So I mean, I was working. Yeah, and so I've got that up and running now. I can I've got a TRS-80 that I can emulate. So
I think that's 1985.
Yeah, it was older. It was older than that. It was back in the late 70s actually. The TRS-80 was like 1977, 78.
Oh.
That was back when Charles Tandy had the opportunity to, when Bill Gates went to the Tandy Center, I was working there, and they decided not to contract with Microsoft. They wanted to come out with their own OS, and that's where the Tris-DOS came from. They didn't want to invest in Microsoft. They wanted to do their own OS. So that was where the president of Tandy made a big mistake, because they could have owned Microsoft back then.
Wasn't that owned by Radio Shack?
You're right. Yeah, Tandy Radio Shack. Yeah, the TRS-80. Their first computer was like a cassette recorder, a keyboard, and a display. Very similar to the the Apple One, but You know, it was strictly text based, but it was incredibly interesting. You know, it was $500 back in, like, what was it, 1977, something like that.
I got it later. They were still using tapes in the 80s too.
Yeah, I kind of lost. I had a Xerox 820, but you know, when you go to work and you have a mainframe that does all this, then you come back and all you can do is run a few lines of code. You kind of go, oh, what's the use? You know, one of those types of things. So, but now, you know, it's a lot different. But back then, all you had was basic, and you could run, and it only had like very small amount of RAM in there, so you could only run a few lines of code, and you know, then you had to save it to a cassette. It was like,
Right.
I sure do look forward to the time when we can all meet together and, you know, in person again. You know, it's you know, I just can't believe that here we are on a Saturday morning. Either everybody's busy, we only have 10 people here. You know, I wish I could look down and see that we had 50, 60 folks on.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's you know, and I keep bringing up the Naples group, but you know, it's, I mean, you look down at there are 100 folks down there. Say, for instance.
and my last act as acting president, I'd like to say thank you to Taylor and Richard. You always come through, and so I just want to say thanks.
Thank you.
Your last act. What are you resigning?
No, yeah, not going to be president anymore. Thank goodness. I don't have to remember the rules.
Can I resign?
No.
You're indispensable, Tim.
That's okay, Lawrence. Just wait until the elections. We'll take care of it.
Lawrence did such a good job. He can continue as much as he wants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Taylor told me something months ago. You know, it's really something we should just enjoy and have fun. I mean, it shouldn't be work. It shouldn't be a task. It should just be fun. And I think that's one of the things that I've always enjoyed about, you know, making the trip over to Dallas was, you know, just enjoying the folks and the fun, and you know, if I learned something, that's a plus. But it was just fun being able to just visit with everybody and, you know, visit with people who had a common interest, and that's kind of what it's all about, you know.
Yes, I agree.
You know, I was getting all anxious and having anxiety over taking notes and taking minutes, and Taylor goes, you know, let's just have fun. You know, let's just have fun.
That's right.
You know, it's not a job. It's just have fun. And you forget about it.
Who's Jack? I don't recognize Jack.
Jack's iPhone.
Hey, Jack.
Maybe we can get him to unmute himself and say hello.
He's on his iPhone. Who is
Hey,
Jack?
Jack.
Maybe we're gonna.
Jack in the box.
Is he really there?
Oh, there he goes.
Taylor.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, Jack Johnson.
Johnson.
And I was going to ask you, I'd get in touch with you to give you my new email address.
Oh, good. Certainly. Yeah. You could email me, or if you can put it in the chat here, or whatever works.
So anyway, I went on to the acd.us website. It did say that it wasn't secure. But anyway, it said to go ahead and get this program today, download it, Ring Central, which I did, and then was able to get on the program. So it's the first time I've joined it using that, you know, recently. I've missed the other ones, but I see you recorded them, so I'll be looking forward to seeing the other recording.
Good.
This morning I had to go to my external speaker because I'm doing this through my iPhone right now, and I couldn't hear the sound on the presentation, so I had to put on my external speaker in order to pick up the volume to hear it.
Well, glad it worked for you.
Did anybody else have a problem hearing that presentation this morning? For low volume?
it seemed to work good enough for me, but I can see if you're on an iPhone, it's more challenging. You have a smaller speaker.
I mean, I mean, usually that's no problem. I have a loudspeaker on my phone, but I had it maxed out and I just couldn't hear it. So the external speaker, solved the problem.
Okay, well,
You know,
good.
wireless.
But in general, you can just ask Taylor because he can fix most problems.
Wave of the hand.
Anyway, if your email address is on, yeah, thank you. If your email address is on the website, well, I'll just go ahead and find that and send it to you that way.
Or if you tell me what it is, I can update it right now. I've got that KJ3998 thingy.
It's not effective anymore.
Your phone.
I've lost the use of that one.
Oh, okay. Do you know what's the new one?
I'd rather not give that over.
Okay, email it to me. Yeah. There we go. You have my email, taylor@taylorsharp.com.
One second. Say it one more time, please.
It's Taylor, Taylor, at Taylor, Taylor, Sharp, SHARPE.com. Just got to remember.
Okay, Taylor at taylorsharp.com and Sharp with an A on the end.
Yep,
okay.
That's it.
Okay, good. I'll take care of that.
Awesome, Jack.
I just happened to check back on the website to see if there were any meetings that were going on anymore, things like that. So it worked out well. I'm glad I got to join in. And the Ring Central has worked out well.
Good.
Excellent.
Okay, well, I guess without any further announcements until next month, which is going to be spring cleaning. I guess I'm ready to wrap her up here. Any last comments before we sign off?
Tim, I sent you my email.
Thank you to the presenter for doing a good job.
I was just sending you an email, Richard, to confirm my email. So
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for a good meeting, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, that was.